We're good?
Just in case we need that, yeah.
Oh,
Whoa,
yeah.
it's on. We're live.
All right. So first off, you got to give yourselves a round of applause. It was 5:30?
Yes.
You've made it this far. We totally appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely. So it's so nice to see our customers here. It's 5:30, Dana Hall in the house. No, but seriously, I know we're presenting between us and the concerts. We're going to get you going, but we want to get
And
you
the
all
beer,
pumped
and
and
the
learn about
scotch,
Trailhead, everything.
and the
Scotch,
whiskey.
beer, Heineken, all the above. So we're super excited to talk to you today. My name is Vic, and I'm part of the Trailhead marketing team.
Hi, everybody. My name's Adam Torman. I'm a product manager on Team Trailhead.
And we're here to talk to you how to power enablement using Trailhead at your companies.
All right, so we want to find out quickly, who here has earned a badge on Trailhead? Raise your hands up high. All right, thank you. Who here has actually started to roll out Trailhead internally with their employees, getting some competitions going? I know Mark, I know John, couple. All right, and who here would like to roll this out with their employees?
Awesome.
All right, you come to the right place.
Yes. So today we're going to talk just that. And we're going to share a little bit of what we're going to do today. But before we get into that, there are some forward-looking statements. Who wants to present this slide? Yeah.
I used to get a tattoo of this every Dreamforce, which really stunk when they changed it, because I'd have to scratch it out. But one time this dude came up to me, he said, "You can't tell me that. You didn't show me the forward-looking statement." I lifted up my sleeve, and it mollified him. It was so wild. He's like, "Oh, okay."
That's Adam Torman, everybody.
Please, please, please. We are going to show you some really cool stuff today, some stuff that is generally available, and some stuff that's not yet available. So please bear in mind when you make purchasing decisions.
Absolutely. So what we're going to share with you today is super awesome. It's beyond just enablement. We're going to get right into it. But what's on the agenda? So what is Trailhead? I know there might be some new users, but just we're going to quickly go over what is Trailhead, how we use Trailhead internally at Salesforce. So what's that Salesforce on Salesforce story? How to enable your teams when you go back to your companies on Monday or tomorrow. We're going to get into a quick demo, and Adam's going to show you about Trailhead Tracker. We're going to talk about a quick customer story, and then we're going to show you some CTAs and how to get started. Is that right? All right, let's get right into it. So Trailhead. Trailhead is the fun way to learn Salesforce. Whether you're a business user, an admin, or a developer, we got something for you. You can easily visit trailhead.salesforce.com and get hands-on, real-life scenarios. Who's done a hands-on challenge on Trailhead? Amazing. I think that's really our secret sauce. We give you the ability to get into Salesforce, develop custom fields, workflows, anything of that nature, get immediate feedback, and what do? You get badges and you get points. It's awesome.
You can even learn about how to fill out opportunities accounts, whether you're a business user, an admin. It's more than just developers. It's 256 badges now.
100%, and over 2.5 million earned badges as well. So thank you, everyone, for evangelizing Trailhead. And also, it's available in 6 different languages. So a lot of our users are asking us, well, how do I get to those languages? Just scroll to the bottom, and you can toggle between the languages. So sometimes I play a prank at the office. I'll go to Adam's desk, and I'll swap it to Japanese, and I'll run back. He'll be like, oh, my God. But he's the product manager, so he can quickly pick it back to what he likes to have.
Hi.
So how do we do this at Salesforce? Everyone wonders, how does Salesforce use Trailhead? We have a lot of use cases about Trailhead, but before we get into that, we want to thank our Trailblazers. Our Trailblazers are customers, they're partners, they're everyone at this conference. They evangelize Trailhead at their companies and with their individuals.
They're even
the secret sauce of Trailblazers is they put the customer at the center of what they're looking to do. Everyone's an evangelist, and you've seen Zach Rotero today walking around here with his gold jacket, and we have Mark Tossell that we spoke about during today's keynote. Everyone's a Trailblazer, whether you're a partner, you're a customer, prospect, anyone. So we just want to thank all of our Trailblazers. So how do you empower your employees using Trailhead? Now at Salesforce, it's a pretty interesting story. Last year, we hired about 6,000 employees. But the important part is, how do we get them onboarded? How do we get them effectively helping our customers? And the way we do it is we have a simple model called 30, 60, 90. Within the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, they're given personalized learning journeys on Trailhead. Now, before they used Trailhead, that's when I started 7 years ago, it was a challenging just to get onboarded. But what we do now is our sales enablement team onboards these employees by signing trails. So now before they get to boot camp, they're supposed to do 30 modules on Trailhead, and we can track their progress throughout the success lifecycle. Now, we do make it challenging for them. We're saying if you don't finish those badges, you can't come to boot camp, but everyone's really excited to get on the phones and helping customers, so we make sure that 30, 60, 90 is effectively measured throughout their success. Secondly is sales enablement. You know, on our last quarterly call, someone challenged our president saying, you have so many products that are being released. What is your secret sauce of getting all your customer-facing employees up to speed so we know what to speak about you? Right now, you see all the booths here on the floor. Everyone did mandatory trails that are related to product to make sure that they know what our latest product offerings are. I want to point out Chris Duarte over here, who's our editor-in-chief in Trailhead, who works super hard to make sure that our content is up to date and ready for our customers. Secondly, skilling up. Now, if you've been at the company for a long time, you may think, oh, I know that, I know this. But in December, Mark Benioff had all of our employees, 26,500, that's before we're at 29,000, all of us go through our path forward. And what that trail is really our corporate message. How does everyone talk the talk and walk the walk? When they're on the floor here, whether the customer, wherever they're on the world, every employee had to go through our path forward together. And that's the way we scale our abilities. Before we did this one-on-one, we had everyone present to us, but this way we actually use Trailhead to measure the success of our employees. And lastly is customer success. When we talk to our customers, we enable our customer-facing employees to quickly go to Google. It's as easy as going to Google, and if they have a question around an API or a workflow, and I challenge everyone to do this when they get back to their work sites, is launch a web browser, type in literally Trailhead API, and what happens is the API module is the first thing that shows up. So we make sure that our customer success group, CSG, they are going through, for example, the architecture trail. Everyone who's a business architect or a technical architect at Salesforce as an employee has to go through that trail, and that enables them to deliver high-performing customer success. So when they have that question in front of their customers, Trailhead is the path to lead them to that success. Adam, do you want anything to that?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that blows me away, I used to be a trainer, and I'd fly around the world, I'd train people in classrooms, and this all of a sudden changed the whole notion of how we have assignments, right? Typically, whenever I was sent out to teach people, employees, about the product, they were assigned this product, they were assigned this training. And some of this stuff, like our path forward, was assigned. But what we're constantly amazed with is how many people come not from the push model of assignments, but from the pull model of just wanting to discover more. They want to discover more about management. They want to discover more about the product. They want to discover more. A lot of that is because of that content, tone, and voice strategy that makes it engaging. A lot of it is because of the gamification, which makes it fun, but it's the fact that it's a balance. It's not just, oh, you have to sit through this class or you have to take this badge. It's also, oh, you want to learn about Einstein or IoT or Wave. And that ability to start to learn more through that pull model is an accelerator.
Absolutely. I want to add one more thing. We did a study last year at Salesforce, and we said it takes a typical salesperson 9 months to get onboarded at Salesforce. If we can increase or decrease that by 1 month, so it takes them 8 months to get onboarded. Imagine in 1 month how much more revenue, how much more customer success we can deliver exponentially across the company. You may have that AE or account exec that says, I already know this stuff. It's like, listen, the idea is that we have all 6,000 or 7,000 of these key customer-facing employees that are on board, and the way we're doing it is with Trailhead. So like I said, when I started, my personal story is I had to look through our file system, and it was difficult to find what I needed to speak with my customer. But now with Trailhead, it's as easy as literally going to Google or going to our search methodology inside Trailhead or going to my personal learning journey and deliver that success. And we're going to talk about that right now. So Trailhead Tracker, who's heard of Trailhead Tracker?
Woohoo! Who's installed it?
Amazing.
All right, couple.
So 4 months ago, Adam Torman and Jeff Douglas, who's sitting right here, they had the idea, it was a side project. They said, wow, we need a way for our customers to track and to assign Trailhead badges inside of their Salesforce org. Amazing, right? 4 months later, we launched this on the App Exchange. When with Roaring Thunder, we had so many installs, customer success. We have
like
a few customers right here.
Installs now.
It was thousands. It was a stellar job. And now our customers like John Lay, who we're going to speak to here from Camping World, can now assign, track, but also have fun. We know that fun, engagement, it's the dashboards that get refreshed. It's where I am, who am I competing against that really drive that home for our customers. Now, one thing that I want to mention that's not available right now, so this was the forward-looking statement, is Trail Mix. Who uses Spotify or Apple Music right now? Amazing.
Right.
So do I. And what I love about Spotify is my personal playlists. What Trailhead's going to offer is your personal playlist for modules, trails, and projects, and super badges. How about that, everyone? Is that awesome?
And what I love is Vic grew up in the age of playlists. I grew up in the age of mixtapes. Anyone here make mixtapes? Come on, don't be bashful. My favorite was a mixtape my sister's boyfriend made for me about Camper Van Beethoven. He did this awesome cover art. It has all the Camper Van Beethoven hits. And I'm like, this is so cool. He's sharing music with me. Right? And if you think about that concept of sharing and making not just music social, but learning social, then that changes the whole notion of, well, yeah, we have these awesome cultivated trails, but if you can make your own trails, if you can put together your own paths, then that employee enablement story grows stronger.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do actually when we launch Trail Mix at the company is we're going to have the most popular, we're going to have something called celebrity trail mixes. So there'll be a Parker Harris trail mix, there'll be a Srini trail mix, there'll be an Alex Dayon or a Keith Block. And what's going to happen is if you're a salesperson or if you're a customer-facing employee or if you're a developer and you say, how do I get started? What do I do? What happens now is the managers are spending one-on-one time with their employees saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. And what happens is the employees get involved, but they just kind of get lost. And in this day and age, you're used to following playlists. So what we're going to do now is create a developer playlist inside the company. And that person who starts at the company, we talked about the 10 months onboarding cycle. We can now reduce it, hopefully, by a couple months, which will allow our developers, and admins, and our business users to get really busy with the system. But not only it'll be a guided personal learning journey that can share and also track.
So speaking of track, let's talk a little bit about the tracker.
Absolutely. So we're going to get into a demo right now. And Adam's going to show off Trailhead Tracker. So let's go for it, Adam.
I'm working on my, there we go.
There we
go. All right, he just taught me the 4-finger slide. I'm still learning. Okay, so this is Vic, right? He has a profile. And here's the remarkable thing. We have hundreds of thousands of Trailblazers out there because we created this site that scales to B2C levels. The whole intent was not to have an administrator. There's no provisioning of users. There's no reporting. This is all about a learner-centric experience. So we make it incredibly easy for every one of you to be able to track your own badges. What we don't make it incredibly easy to do is to enable your admins or your enablement folks to be able to track your badges. Right? So that was our problem set, was we know that Vic has 5 of 5 badges.
Wait a second. This is my demo org. I have more badges. Just wanted to say that. Thanks, Adam.
Sure you do.
Just one second.
No, it's OK.
OK.
I understand. So Vic doesn't really have 5 badges. Yes, he does. But what was really key was figuring out, well, how do we actually track not just Vic, but all employees? So we created this application. Now, this application is on the App Exchange today. As Vic mentioned, we have thousands of installs. And we're really proud of this, because what it does is it basically, behind the scenes, reaches out to Trailhead, and based on your org's affinity, pulls in all that badge data. And the thing that we love about the Force.com platform is it's such a powerful management platform. You can create reports and customizations and workflows. I think Mark did a demo of how he used this to be able to actually do really cool notifications. All that comes just part and parcel with Force.com and the power of being able to administer it. So we say, OK, let's put this App Exchange package out there. And the main thing that it does when it installs into your org is it runs a job once a day that reaches out to Trailhead and says, OK, for all of the users who have logged in using their production org identity, right, the login they use every day to log into Salesforce, it's going to go and it's going to grab their badges and it's going to lay it out. And so now I can start to do some interesting things. I can say, OK, tell me how many total badges have been assigned but not yet started. Because maybe I have a due date on them, and maybe I want to make sure that people are doing it within a certain time frame. And then for those people who've started it, tell me how many of them have it in progress, and then how many have been completed. And with that, we can actually start to get into, Trailblazers get badgy. I did not make that up, by the way. Chris Duarte did, which is, I think, awesome. Or be able to see how long it took for the badge completion to happen, what were the most popular badges, what are our leaderboards. So now all of a sudden, especially where you're trying to align teams around ramping up for administration or development or even end user functionality like learning about opportunities and cases, now we can actually start to paint the picture across our organization of what they're actually doing. And the way this works is by pulling that data into custom objects. So for instance, I've got this typical list view. It has all of our badges in here, and I love the badge art. The badge art's kind of cool. So maybe one of the badges I don't think Vic's done yet is advanced formulas.
Actually,
right?
Adam, I want to do the Salesforce success model.
Salesforce success? You are all about success.
Yes.
All right. So when you drill into this badge record, what it tells you is information about it. What's the level, the role, the tags. If you notice, those are the same things you see in the filter headers of Trailhead.
This is super cool, everyone. This actually comes from trailhead.salesforce.com, and the batch job that Adam was talking about, this gets auto-populated for you. So now the data is inside of your org, so you can start slicing and dicing and do whatever you want with it, but the metadata is there for you inside of your org.
Like a simple thing we did was just roll up summary fields. For everyone in my org, tell me how many badges are in progress and how many have been completed for this particular badge. So if I actually did assign this out, because I want everyone to be successful, I would be able to easily see the numbers and see the discrepancies. Now, the assignment model is pretty simple. All I need to do is create that intersection, that user badge. So I'll go ahead and create a new record. I'll search for Vikram. And I'll go ahead and give it an assigned status. And as this actually comes in, it's going to update. So once a day, we're going to reach out via the API. We're going to call it. We're going to pull it back. We're going to say, OK, what was the first time they tried it? What was the last time he tried it? When did he complete it? And all of that we'll be able to track via the dashboard. So now from 7 badges assigned, I refresh this. And I can't refresh more than 1 minute. I was too fast.
It's OK. We'll get it right there. No, we'll get it. So the
So
idea here, think about what he just said. He said, now you can measure the last time the assignee completed the badge. When did we assign it? Who it was assigned to? Think about this now. Is when you start assigning badges, how soon are they finishing it? Who's finishing it first? How does that relate to closed business, pipeline close? How does it relate to how your developers are onboarding, your admins are developing? You can start creating that story for your CFO, for your CMO. These are the data points that they're looking for to make business decisions. But the best part is that we're creating these learning journeys for you, so you have more time on your hands to do things which you'd rather not do. Have more fun, do these on the way to work. It's more organized. And here's the simple thing. There's 250 plus badges available on Trailhead. That's a lot of content. If we can make it easier for you and assign these badges and do what you need to do and then get in front of your customers or get in front of your boss or your business partners to deliver business value, that's really what the aha moment is. And that's what really Trailhead Tracker brings to the forefront. But I challenge everyone to go back to their offices and think of other things that we haven't done. Right now, it's a managed package. If we can create more dashboards for you, wonderful. Go on to the App Exchange, give us feedback, tell us what you're doing, because we take that feedback and we make changes. And that's exactly what Mark and what John Lay are doing for us right now. They're giving us extremely awesome feedback, and we're going to make some changes. So it's been pretty cool.
all right.
Great.
So, and one last thing while Vic's loading up the PowerPoint. I mentioned before the push-pull model, right? Assigned learning is just sort of part and parcel with enablement within an organization. But the interesting thing that a tracking application does is it surfaces up not just the assignments, but all the things that people do that they just did for fun, right? Where you actually get to have a meaningful conversation. Oh, why were you checking out Demandware? Why were you checking out IoT?
Right.
Is this something that you think we could roll out? And that changes a conversation that you can have with your team on a daily basis.
Yeah, suddenly we have developers or admins doing business-related trails. So that actually starts a career conversation. Hey, we know that you're looking to this. Or sometimes they're doing things that managers can be proactive about doing, right? Think about that when you go back to your offices. So here's a really cool story about Camping World. Who's bought something from Camping World before? Amazing, John Lay. John, you know what? Without me even presenting this slide, we have John Lay here in the audience. So John Lay is the VP of IT Infrastructure from Camping World. John Lay, thanks for coming. Why don't you stand up? So John Lay is a huge proponent of Salesforce, but what he is also is a huge proponent of Trailhead Tracker. So John, why don't you share our story with everybody?
So, excuse me, we installed Trailhead Tracker just because I thought it was going to be cool and something to look at. And soon I noticed that we started having a lot of our users in Trailhead and they were seeing it tracked. One of the interesting things I was telling you was I started getting chatter messages from our users asking me, how did I have time to do the badges I was doing? They noticed that I was, using the publish feature, and they could see my results and my numbers growing. And so it starts a conversation, with the users. And I mean, we're talking people who do want to grow in the business, and they're looking at, they're doing business development, running the sales organization, but they're able to go into Tracker and learn more, or go into Trailhead and learn more about how they can, things I don't like hearing myself. So they're going into Trailhead and they're learning more about Salesforce for their business, but also coming in and challenging me and IT and the rest of IT to deploy new features and new functionalities to help them be better in their job.
John, what was your aha moment when you first found out that this app was available, then you installed it, and how soon did your employees get on board with using this tool?
Well, so how soon they started using right away.
Awesome.
I was amazed by how many people I had actually in Trailhead. And then it's just kind of spiked as we started talking about it and socializing Trailhead even more because of the tracker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's our story from Camping World. I think they're an awesome story. Thank you, John. Can everyone give a hand applause to John? Awesome.
Hey, John, how many badges do you have? Out of curiosity. 253. Holy
253. How many points, John? Oh, my God. Let's just go with like 250,000. Sounds good. Awesome. So how do you get started today? Everyone go to the App Exchange, type in Trailhead Tracker, and download Trailhead Tracker. Like Adam mentioned, there's a job that runs overnight, so once it's installed in your org, you'll start seeing the badges come in from Trailhead, and you can start assigning those badges right away. And also have fun with your peers. They're looking for that competition. When I asked John the question of, were your employees excited to get on stage? And what happened? Like, what made them so motivated? And I bet you it was those dashboards. Because I know that's what motivates me. Sometimes they're the good dashboards, and sometimes they're the not so good dashboards. But also, if you think about it from a career progressive conversation you have with your employees or with your superiors, that's really what drives the conversation. This isn't a Big Brother tool. This is a tool to help drive productivity enablement in your companies and by using our product. So I want to open for a quick Q&A. I have about 5-6 minutes left. So is there any questions that people want to ask? Sure.
First of all, thank you for this session.
Thanks.
Very informative. And I have two questions. The first
And who are you?
Yes.
My name is Manish. I work for a company called Sienna. It's based out of Baltimore. The first question, and I may have just missed it, and you may have mentioned, the ability to assign 10 particular trailheads to a new employee. Mm-hmm. Does that come with Trailhead Tracker right now, or is it coming soon with Trail Mix?
It comes with Trailhead Tracker right now. So what Adam was demoing was the ability to assign badges to employees. You can also give a time badge, by the way. So if you want to future assign something, so the use case is if you have a bunch of employees starting, or if you have a campaign rolling out, or something coming out in the future, you can assign those badges before the actual date starts. So let's just pretend August 1st was a campaign kicking off, and I come into the office and I refresh my dashboard. Suddenly I may go from 3 assigned badges to 10 assigned badges. But the best part is I'm not bugging you to know where they are. They're already assigned, it's being tracked, and I can start progressing no matter where I am. Does that help you answer the question?
That's perfect.
Just to clarify that also, this really is a tracking application. So we kept assignment fairly light. It's really about your ability to have visibility with what you've assigned. Anything around notifications is still a customization. Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about what you did within your org for
You had a second question, though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, second question. Can the new hire bring their already completed badges from their previous email? Because
Oh, I love that question.
It had to come up, right?
There are 2 ways to do it. The first way is you can do, and there's a today and there is coming soon. Again, forward-looking statement. The today is you do an account merge. So the vast majority of people have their Trailhead users behind a developer edition login or identity, or Gmail, or Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's all any of the social media. So you can make a request of Trailhead support to merge them into the production identity. So when someone logs in through their production identity, we'll generate a new user. We can merge those badges over. A lot of people do not want to do that. right? I don't blame them. Because it means if they leave your company, then they're going to have to make a subsequent request to merge them out to a separate account, like a developer edition or Gmail or some other identity. And so the feature that we're working on that I believe Sarah even mentioned in the keynote is org account linking, which will give you that ability to, if you're logged in, your identity is developer edition, you can go ahead and create a connection, a link to your production org. And by having those two identities, you can log into your Trailhead user either way, but the API that we use will go ahead and pull that data in. So if your users are concerned about doing merges, that's OK, we understand. Give it about a month, and when org account linking comes out, have them go and do that linking. As long as they haven't earned badges on their production identity, that linking can occur, and now you can get that visibility without them losing their independence as an individual.
Thank you for asking, Manish. It's probably one of our biggest asks we're working on, along with mass assignments. So here's Mark.
Yeah. Mark, is it OK? Can I put you on the spot?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Who are you, Mark Korf?
Let's see. I'm a new admin. I work at a small startup in Seattle called Socrata. And one of the challenges that I had when I first started was, and I think I shared this with you before, my company hated Salesforce. I actually looked at my manager and said, why am I here? Am I the fall guy? What's going on? And he said, nope, you're here to fix it. And one of the things that I noticed was that they weren't properly trained in using Salesforce. And so I immediately emailed Samantha Reedy and said, hey, you mentioned this forward-thinking statement last year about this Trailhead Tracker. She got me in touch with Adam. We went ahead and we installed it in beta, tested it out, assigned badges, and we found immediately that people were doing the assigned badges and more. And so then it became almost a game, and it coincided with our Lightning rollout as well, so we were assigning Lightning badges. And so then people were doing Lightning badges and then coming to us and saying, hey, how come I don't have access to Lightning? So we actually increased our Lightning rollout and sped that up due to the Trailhead Tracker. It's been so successful for us that we went ahead and had a Trailhead contest, which is actually ongoing right now in the month of June. And so we're giving away prizes for most badges completed, most points completed, and then every badge goes into a raffle drawing for a third prize. Our leader right now has done 68 badges this month. Which is more than I've ever even done in a month. So it's amazing. The creep that you see, the knowledge creep when people are learning more things, it comes back tenfold. A lot of our people were doing what they considered to be easier badges, doing the culture badges and the leadership badges and stuff. And our chief of staff noticed that, and so now our chief of staff is having our CEO, our CTO, our CFO log in with accounts and kind of do those and get more lead by example. And I can't say enough about Adam, Vic, Chris, and your guys' team. You've made my job immensely easier, and I'm looking forward to the changes that you guys have coming up.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Someone has a question. Yep. Just introduce yourself, please. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Chris Wong. I work at Kaiser Permanente. I think my first question was answered if this works in Classic. It sounds like it does.
Both Classic and Lightning.
Okay. And the other question is, when we install this, we only get Trailhead as is today. Is there any opportunity for us to customize or create our own lessons so that we could give out those? I mean, we might not be able to link it to the dev org, but there's some like content, or like you showed there, corporate messaging or vision training that they could take on Trailhead. Is that something we could customize in the future?
Oh, I love that idea. Who out there would like to create their own custom trails for their content? Raise your hands up high. Yeah, I think that's such an awesome idea. All right, so one of the things that Vic didn't tell you about is that we've actually rolled out this thing internally that has helped us to enable employees that actually is not publicly available yet. And it's our ability to write content that's only available and accessible by people in our organization. And it's one of the ways that we share that information that's not necessarily public, but it helps us to onboard our reps. It helps us to onboard our R&D. It really helps us to establish that additional layer of training.
We actually just moved from our old legacy security system, sort of LMS, you want to say, to Trailhead now too. So we're slowly converting those items to Trailhead, but I thought that was pretty neat to get off that boring system.
And when you log in, you'll never see this because we actually put a wall in place that said, this is private content. And that same publishing process, that same ability to be able to create that content and be able to publish it side by side with all of our awesome public Trailhead content, that's very much in the works. But right now, we're focused exclusively on that employee use case. And as this comes out, you'll definitely hear about it. But yes, we think it's a phenomenal idea, and we are working towards it. Forward-looking statement. We're using it internally, but we want to make it available so that our customers can too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So we have time for one more question. Over there.
It was just a follow-on question. My name is Nigel Flair. I work for an ISV called Nimble User, and so we write managed packages that we would like to have installed so that you could do a custom trail. So that was the other follow-on request. I don't know if that's still on the roadmap or not.
Sure. Actually, I'm happy to tell you a little bit about it. The ISV case is kind of fascinating, right? Because I've talked with a ton of ISVs, and it falls into like pretty much every possible use case imaginable. They want to be able to train their employees. They want to be able to train their partners. They want to be able to train integrators, potentially, who will actually do the installation and management. They want to be able to train their subscribers. So we have all of their use cases on the horizon. We're keeping them all in mind. They'll roll out in a series of phases. But the first one, just to let you know, is really focused on that employee use case.
Great. Thanks a lot.
You got it.
So we're going to stick around here when it's over, but I want to thank everyone for coming to our 5:30 session.
Oh my God, it's 6 o'clock. Is it beer time yet?
Have an amazing time at Trailhead DX. Have fun at the concert tonight, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Get some rest, and thanks again for coming.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.